Alright, final round. Our friend Netherlands Jordy on the left, starting us off on a mulligan to 6. Playing Gruul lands. On the right we have the return of Christian, playing Karn Echoes, who has kept 7 and is starting us off with a chalice on 1. Potentially going to be very effective. It definitely takes care of crop rotation and exploration, two of Jordy's best cards in trying to keep up with the speed of the Echoes deck. We're going to have to wait and see if it actually works out like that. Life from the Loam being cast for Jordy here. Gonna pick up the land he discarded off the Mox Diamond and pass the turn. Pretty decent opener for both players. Christian going to play Seagate Reborn, I think. Seagate Reborn, yes. One of the dual-faced lands from Zendikar Rising that on the other end are spells. Actually, on the front side are spells. This is the back side, which is going to put Christian at 7. No, wait, he stays at 20, never mind. He did not play it untapped. He played it tapped, sacrificing his City of Traders. Not a terrific sequence of events to have happened there, but it was worth playing the Chalice, definitely. Expedition map going to get countered by the Chalice. And Jordy getting some value off the Loam. I see Dark Depths with a Thespian stage already on the field. I saw a Field of the Dead. Looks like Jordy is going to put a good deal of pressure on our friend Christian here. Now the Lion's Eye Diamond, now the City of Traders. Interesting hand. Urza and a Echo of Eons being discarded, along with a basic island. 3 mana, still floating after flashing back the Echo of Eons. Both players now shuffling back their graveyard and their hand, and then drawing 7. Now, no Hullbreaker this time. Christian is playing Hullbreaker, so if that ever hits the field, then Jordy is just stripped of his entire hand and graveyard, which is very much relevant, because Jordy now also loses out on the Life from the Loam value that he was generating already, as well as the Field of the Dead and the Dark Depths that he already had, which in combination with Thespian Sage could have given him a very fast clock. But we'll have to wait and see what happens now. It's possible Christian might look for another Echoes. Kind of depends on what he's trying to do here. Now, he has 3 blue floating. He has another blue from the Seagate and can tap the city for another 2 colorless. Chalice on 2 coming down. Also pretty effective. It's going to turn off Life from the Loam. It's going to turn off Punishing Fire. It prevents Sylvan Library. And now, pretty much shutting down half of Jordy's deck here. Not irrelevant cards here. I see another Dark Depth, so we could just go for it again. I see Engineered Explosives. Might be able to get rid of the Chalices in the long run, should that be a concern. I think there's a Mox Diamond in there as well. Interesting. Looks like Jordy still has a plethora of options here. That was a very good 7, all things considered. Dare I say it might be a better 7? No, he is missing the Life from the Loam. That does matter. Right? Or maybe I missed the Loam. Oh no, I missed the Loam. Yeah, no, I'm gonna call it. This might just be a straight up better hand than he had before the Echo. Because now at least he can get rid of the Chalices. Whew. That is tough luck. Or great luck, depending how you look at it. Engineering explosives coming down on 0. And just threatening Merit Lade's next turn. The game might just be over here. Yeah, an incredible 7 for Jordy here. Completely unintentional, but, you know, we take those. After a mulligan to 6, getting just a nutty 7 is probably one of the best feelings in Magic. If not, it's up there. It has to be up there. Christian floating to colorless to play an Ancient Tomb. Or colorless now in the pool. Looks like we have a Karn coming. Five mana. Maybe not. Lotus Petal, 6 mana? 7 mana? Are we going to hardcast an Echo of Eons? Or no! No, it's the other side of the Seagate. It's the Seagate's restoration. So, Christian right now holding 3 cards is going to draw 4 cards and no longer has a maximum hand size. Now, did Christian find something that will save him from Merit Lade? We're not going to game 2 yet, looks like. Not yet. So I'm not sure... Not sure what that deck can do in this situation. Honestly. Okay, yeah, no. We are going to game 2. Just a fantastic opener for Jordy here. Now, for game 2, we have Christian on a mulligan to 6. Jordy keeping his 7. On sideboards, Christian doesn't have much of a sideboard because of the wishboard for Karn, though he could be looking get down a quick Karn into an ensnaring bridge to try and slow the onslaught coming from Jordy here. Jordy's side, we most definitely should be looking out for Force of Vigor. And I would imagine Choke on hand of Christian being a mono blue deck. But we'll have to see. We have Exploration coming down for Jordy here. Getting a bit of acceleration down here. Going to port the one island that Christian managed to play. Not really doing much else, but when you're on mulligan 6, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Chromox coming down for Christian here. Going to imprint something blue, in this case Narset. You're already probably happy to see Narset go away. Because playing a Narset and then having an Echo of Eons resolve, that's usually not too good for your hand state. Not too good for your hand, not too good for your graveyard. Though worth mentioning with Narset, you may not get your opponent may not get treasures, but no, wait, let me rephrase that. Not only does your opponent not get treasures, but you actually do draw 1 card, because the Echo is going to be cast at sorcery speed. So definitely not as bad as Hull Breacher. The Thespian Stage and Urza Saga being the place for Jordy here. And a Hull Breacher coming down for Christian. Speak of the devil. Going to take turn. The Shan board going to tap the island. The Seagate Reborn coming down again. This time is getting played untapped. And then the Ancient Tomb taps, and we get a Days Undoing. This is the power of Christian's deck. It doesn't have a lot of flexibility to it, but it does one thing, and it does one thing really well. Actually, technically it does two things, because if you're not doing the Hull Breacher wheel thing, you've got a Karn thing going on, so it does two things. And then just hyper focuses on those two things, and as you can see here, just a really fast Days Undoing with a Hull Breacher on the field is quite possibly going to win him the game here. Now, he hasn't won yet. Jordy unfortunately loses his hand and his graveyard here, but is able to make a construct in response. Now, the thing with Days Undoing, the way they try to fix it is that it ends the turn if you cast it. So, Jordy needs to do this in response. He wants to do it during Christian's turn. How they try to fix Time Twister. Time Twister, of course, being the exact same card, except it doesn't end the turn. And surprisingly, that was all it took. Time Twister, one of the all-time most powerful cards. If it ends your turn, it's almost not worth mentioning. That's incredible. It makes sense, of course. But yeah, just what a difference that being able to play sorceries, yes or no, or creatures, yes or no, can make in a situation like that. Of course, if you play a Hull Breacher and then suddenly Days Undoing is good enough. We get a Karn being played here. Going to minus. Then play Microsynth Letters. Did Jordy not get a construct into play? No! Wait, no! He didn't make a construct. He turned the Thespian stage into an Ursa Saga. That's what happened. Right. And that's a problem right now, because now if Christian decides to Lattice Lock Jordy, just play Karn, play Lattice. And now, yeah, now Jordy has no way of actually pressuring the Karn. And I think that is it, right? And now we are in a bit of trouble here. No, wait! Oh! I just realized what's going on! Hang on! Mycosynth Lattice turns everything into an artifact. So that construct is huge. My mistake. I never realized that interaction worked that way. Oh wow. So Christian is still not out of the woods yet. I mean, he's definitely going to be able to keep playing here. And I would imagine he has some sort of out. Like, surely there is an out here, right? I have no idea what it is, but yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, Jordy still has a large construct, Karn struct. So he still has some pressure. He's still able to somehow pressure Christian here, who is going to have to start actively protecting the Karn that is now on the field. Which might... Like, Christian is definitely echoing off here. Trying to find something to do here. So if Christian passes the turn here, Jordy gets an attack off and Christian will have to block that. And then after that, he could decide to play the ensnaring bridge anyway, which is going to be a bit harder now that his board is full. Lionside Diamond would be great here, I guess. No matter how you look at it, this construct on Jordy's side is not allowed to actually get through the Karn. And then Christian finds an Urza, makes his own construct, which is significantly larger, and yeah, that is going to take game 2 here. Yeah, I found, since I started casting, that usually the craziest games are from the best of players, and it just goes to show that Jordy is a fantastic player. Because Jordy's games always crazy. Like, even if he's losing, he's making you work for it. You know what I mean? Even when you beat Jordy, you actually have to put in some effort. You can feel it. So, Jordy for game 3 is on a mulligan to 6, but does have a number of spheres happening right now. I see a lightning bolt in his hand as well, which could be relevant. And a couple other things. I think a Caracas. And then on the side of Christian, not much happening just yet. But as we saw, when Christian gets going, his deck is hyper efficient at what it tries to do. So when he goes, he goes. Absolutely. Yeah, do you guys at home have a thought about that? Like, when you look at a player, what's it tell for you that that player is a good player? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Because, again, for me, it's just the average quality of their games. Just the crazy games that come out of those players. For some reason, the better the player, the more fun and interesting their games are to watch, to cast. It makes sense, right? Makes sense. But I'm wondering if you found some other tell that works every time, or most of the time. So let me know, because I'm interested. I want to hear what you all at home have to say about that. Let's see. Narset is going to find Karn, so Karn coming down next turn? Actually, no, not necessarily. There are 2 Sphere of Resistance on the field. Christian is short 2 mana. And now he's short 4 mana. Thanks to the Rishad import from Jordy. So, Narset definitely helping, but not quite enough yet. Got a minus again. Gotta find something, is going to find an Echo of Eons. Maybe looking to dump his hand here. Yeah, is going to dump his hand. Echo getting flashed back here. Oh yeah, Christian remembering that he needs to actually sacrifice his City of Traders because he played an island. Fair enough, that now gets shuffled back into the deck as well. And thanks to Narset, Jordy is definitely short some options here. But as we saw in game 1, Jordy can just draw the thing he needs and be fine. Crop rotation here would be great. A Dark Depths would be great. All he needs to do is just draw it. No, you don't get to play that Lionside Diamond, unfortunately, Christian. That's 2, not 1. But yeah, the spheres definitely slowing the game down a bit. Very relevant here. Keeping Jordy alive and kicking. Especially the kicking part. Grove coming down, so if Jordy ever finds a punishing fire, he has a clock. Christian right now is at 20, so it's not a very fast clock. Just keep punishing firing your opponent, but you know, Christian's deck has shown to be very eager to pay life off Ancient Tomb, off Sea Gates, and especially when you're this pressed for mana, the temptation to just start tapping your Ancient Tombs is very much present. Now, Jordy playing Endurance here doesn't find a graveyard too empty, but it is still a 3-4 with reach right now. No, not that one. Yeah. Christian's deck somewhat light on creatures, though the creatures Christian is playing are pretty good, like Urza. To make a construct, which is right now a 3-3. Another Endurance coming down for Jordy. Opts not to shuffle back the Narset. That ability is it's kind of a May, like up to 1 target, so you just don't target a player. Deciding not to give the Narset to Christian here. Christian did not know that, apparently. I mean, he knows now. It's good enough. Again, these matches were played in August. Modern Horizons 2 wasn't that old yet, so it makes sense that people are still somewhat unfamiliar with cards at that point. Both Endurances coming in. Looks like Urza going to block one of them without dying. Wait. Oh no! Wait. I'm editing Jordy. Hang on. That's why the live titles didn't make sense. There we go. City getting sacrificed for another island. Christian has plenty of blue mana. A choke here would be pretty good. Not gonna lie. Choke here would be disastrous for Christian. Urza Saga also potentially a problem, as we saw before. Microsynth Lattice is a surefire way to pump your constructs and your opponent's constructs. Blindside Diamond getting sacked for some blue here. And we got another flashback. Echo of Eons. And again, the spheres just pumping the brakes on whatever Christian is able to do here. While he is looking to be in a solid position here, it's taking a while. That's not necessarily Christian's fault, it's absolutely Jordy's fault. Those spheres are putting in the work. They are doing the rounds right now. And again, the fact that it is Narset on the field right now and not Hull Breacher is relevant. Not only in denying Christian mana, but Jordy being able to draw a card. We'll have to see if that card is going to be relevant here. Oh, if he drew a Punishing Fire, that'd be pretty good. Now, looks like he didn't. I think there was a Maze of If for the turn. I didn't quite catch what he had in hand. A sphere. A third sphere. We have seen these spheres do some incredible work. This round, we've seen them do some incredible work. Last round, Sphere of Resistance just carrying Jordy through the night here. Incredible stuff. Thinking what to do next is going to attack first. Again, Jordy is playing Punishing Fires and Lightning Bolts in his deck, so this block isn't necessarily free. But looks like it is for now. Narset taking a hit for 3. Now at 2 loyalty. Another City of Traders for Christian here. Karn being played. Most likely going to wish for something. Probably not a Mycosynth Lattice, because not only is it very hard to play, it's very hard to keep Karn alive long enough to actually make it count. Do see a Lion's Eye Diamond for Christian in hand. And 2 untapped mana could mean an Ensnaring Bridge. Could be looking at Sorcerer's Spyglass, maybe trying to turn off Urza's Saga. Going to use Urza to get 4 mana out of the Lion's Eye Diamond. Discards his hand. Going to minus. And Ensnaring Bridge. The effect of Urza to be able to tap anything for mana, really doing some work here. The card was very popular for a short while. One of the best cards in Modern, until the fateful banning of both Astrolabe and Mox Opal, and to put a damper on that. There was a bit of an attempt to get it back when the food decks started to become a thing, but the food decks themselves have not really gotten off. Really, they've kind of fizzled, which is unfortunate. They looked pretty strong when Mono Rises 2 was released. And in Legacy, Urza has some presence, not too much. Mostly in these kinds of decks, where Lion's Eye Diamond and Lotus Petal and a Karn Wishboard can really accelerate you into a fast Urza, and then it becomes much better than just playing it on turn 4 fairly. Like, we got some more saga activations here. The actual saga is at 3, so gets sacrificed and is going to find Jordy an artifact. Bunch of cards named Urza having a hell of an impact on Magic, as one would expect. Jordy wondering if he boarded out the card he was looking for. I think he wanted something, boarded it out, and is now forced to take a Mox Diamond, which he then lets die immediately. It's possible he was looking for Pithing Needle, but doesn't have it in his deck, unfortunately, for whatever reason. Looks like he boarded it out. Unlucky, but it happens. It's not the end of the world. There's always the possibility that even if you play the Pithing Needle, you end up naming the wrong thing. Especially with how much is going on here. Another bit of wishboarding here for Christian. Is going to get Liquid Metal Coating, which starting next turn is going to allow him to start attacking Jordy's lands here. Potentially very dangerous. Christian going to tap the coating, trying to artifice the Thespian stage before any saga shenanigans. Going to turn it into a copy of Island, I think. Let's say basic land that is now also an artifact. No, he made another construct. He didn't make it into a basic land. Interesting. I just assumed that Jordy would use the Thespian stage to try and turn it into a construct making basic, but instead opts not to and just make another construct. So we have 2 constructs who are each 4/4, it looks like. A Ancient Tomb for the turn for Christian here. Looks like he forgot to sack the City of Traders here. And Jordy forgetting that the City of Traders is supposed to be dying here. But doesn't look like it matters yet. Now, Christian currently is hellbent, but he does have a Karn. Karn Liquid Metal Coating, going to be able to attack Jordy's mana base here. Jordy probably needs a Force of Vigor here to try and get rid of the Ensnaring Bridge, because the longer the Ensnaring Bridge is there, the greater the risk of Jordy being unable to actually do anything. Third Sphere of Resistance coming down. At this point, I think the spheres might end up hurting Jordy more than anything. I think Christian is going to start closing out the game. And exploration is the draw for Jordy. And yeah, turns being called now. Christian being turn 1. Mostly the question: can Christian actually end the game before turns here? Yeah, that City of Traders should definitely be in the graveyard, but I don't think it's going to matter at this point. Jordy just not able to attack, slowly watching as his lands get wasted away, and even then, Christian just not going to be able to close out the game in the allotted time. Taking a little bit too long. Just a bit of back and forth here, just making sure that things are being done in the right order. But looks like this match is going to end in a draw, with Christian being solidly in the driver's seat. But a fun match, regardless, as always with these players.